Hello, welcome to Media Technology Center, OP Jindal University, Raigad. I am Dr. Vikas Kumar from School of Management, OP Jindal University, and today I am going to discuss the microeconomics and the very important topic, demand. Now let's start with the few features of demand. So what is demand first, and then demand function we will read according to this part, then law of demand, then demand curve, exceptions to the law, and individual demand and market demand. Okay, so starting with the law of demand. But first, let me discuss about the term demand. So what is demand? Okay, let me create this. See, demand is known as anything when the people want, they need, or if they desire. Okay, this is the plain and simplest meaning of demand. A desire of a people is a demand, a need of a people is a demand, a want of a people is a demand. But in economics, the need and the desire not fulfills the criteria of demand. For example, let me take an example. If I ask you if you need a Mercedes, you will definitely say yes. Who don't want Mercedes? Everyone wants Mercedes. But the question is, if everyone wants Mercedes, then why the owner of Mercedes or the company Mercedes have not opened their showroom in every city? Why not? Because every people is not able to buy. People have not purchasing capacity. Okay, so in economics, want, need and desire, if it is backed by if the desire is backed by ability to purchase, then that will be known as demand. So this is the plain meaning of demand. So whenever anyone asks you what is demand, you definitely need to say need of people which is backed by the ability to pay, that is known as demand. Now let's move to the next topic, that is demand function. Okay, demand function. Along with this, we must understand first the factors affecting demand, and then we will proceed with the demand function. So what are the factors that affect the demand? What are the determinants that affect the demand? The first and foremost is price of the product. The first and foremost factor that affect the demand of anything is price of the product. The second is price of related goods. For example, if we go to the market and to buy anything, let's say buy this pen, so we look for the pen and we ask the price of this pen, and then we also look for the other pens and the price of other pen. So definitely when we demand some product, say product X, if you demand product X, you will definitely going to see the price of X, and then the related goods, say Y, you will definitely going to see the price of Y also. The next important thing which affect the demand is income of consumer. A person's income is the major factor that affects the demand for the any product, say X. If your income is low, definitely you will buy a quite cheap product, and if your income is high, then definitely there is a probability to buy a high-end product. The next important factor is consumers' taste and preference. Based on the preference, people buy, and because of this, company do promotions and advertisement activity, because company want to prefer their product over the other product, and therefore taste and preference or brand value is the other important thing. Now I am giving one example. Say when I want to buy my motorcycle, so I went to see my motorcycle, say Bajaj Platina. I have seen the price of Platina. I have also compared that Platina with the other available motorcycle. Then definitely this is based on my income, that is why I am looking for that motorcycle. Taste and preference, maybe my parents are suggesting to go with Hero Honda. I am suggesting that my preference is to buy a Bajaj motorcycle. The next thing is, there are n number of factors. Like my mother said, if you are looking for the motorcycle, please prefer the red color. It will have a Lord's blessing. Please prefer a red color, and it will be, say it will come with a good fortune also. So now my mother's advice is one of the factor affecting my demand. Yes, my friends I have said ki please have these kind of accessories also in your motorcycle. Buy say stylish silencer, and then handle, stylish handle, and then backlight. So my friend's advice for accessories is also an important one. So if you look in the Indian context or in any context, you will see these are the 3-4 important factors that you will see in your note, in your book, on the internet. But there are n number of factors that affects the demand. A mother's advice, a friend's choice, and some father decisions, your personal decisions. So n number of factors are there that affect the demand. In total, I want to say that all these factors are the determinants of the demand, and all these things affect your demand. Now let's move to our topic, demand function, based on what we have just understood. So demand, which is represented as QD of product X, is the function of price of X. Quantity demand of product X is the function of price of X, price of related goods, income of consumer, taste and preferences, mother's advice, father choice, friend suggestions, and number of things. All these are the factors affecting your demand for the product X. So this is what can be written as, understood as, demand function. But economic studies suggest that out of all these factors, the most important factor that affect the demand is price. Out of all these factors, the important one is price. And so we are going to study how the price of product affects the demand, and that is known as law of demand, our other topic. Now what is law of demand? Law of demand says that if price will increase, quantity demand of a say product X will decrease. Law of demand states that as the price increase, the demand decrease, and vice versa. By keeping all other factor constant. Law of demand says that by keeping all the factors that we have understood right now, when you keep all the factor constant, how price is affecting the demand, that is what this law suggests. Okay. Now let me ask you one question. If I say price of motorcycle increases, what will happen to demand? You will definitely say, sir, on the basis of law of demand, if price of say Bajaj Platina, increases, quantity demand of Platina will fall. Okay. So there is indirect relationship between price and demand. Okay. Now if I ask, if the quantity demand of platina decreases, what happened with price? Take a pause and give the answer. If merely looking into this relationship, if you look, you will find that if the demand for platina decreases, price will increase, as the equation suggests. But no, we all knew that if the demand falls, price also falls. Okay, what I am saying, that if demand falls, price also falls. So what about the law of demand then? The thing is, very smartly I have taught you that what happened with the demand when price changes. And when I raise the question, smartly I have changed my question, that what will happen if there is change in demand, what will happen with the price. So the thing is, we need to understand under law of demand, price is the independent factor or variable, independent variable, whereas quantity demand is dependent variable. So law of demand suggests that we don't have a control over price, we have control over demand. Law of demand suggests that how consumer will behave over the change in price. So when the price move upside, demand will go downside. When the price will move downside, demand will go upside. That what law suggests. And if I ask you question from the purview of, or from the approach of demand, then the answer will be different. Then there is a direct relationship. So you need to understand that. There is a inverse relationship, and you need to write price before the demand. Okay. X is the product. Okay. Now next topic is, this is what about law of demand. Next topic is demand curve. How demand curve can be made. Okay. On x-axis we are taking quantity demand, and on y-axis I am taking price. You must understand that this is independent factor, independent variable, and this is dependent variable. Now, as per the knowledge of graph that we have definitely understand in class 11, 12th, graph suggests that on x-axis generally or particularly we keep independent variable, but in our case we are keeping it dependent variable. That is the exception for the law of demand. Okay, on x-axis we keep independent variable, on y-axis we draw dependent variable, but in our analysis of demand curve we are keeping dependent variable on x-axis and independent in y-axis. You need to remember this. Other than law of demand and law of supply, whatever the graph we are going to study in future under microeconomics, you will see that I am keeping independent variable on x-axis. Now, demand curve looks something like this, a downward sloping curve from left to right, a downward sloping curve from left to right. What does this suggest? It suggests that if say price is something P1, that time demand is something Q1. If price falls to P2, demand increases from Q1 to Q2. Okay, so there is an inverse relationship between price and demand, and because of that the curve looks something like this, downward sloping left to right. When one independent variable decreases, the other variable, dependent variable, increases, and vice versa. If it increases, if it say further increases to say P3, then something demand will fall to say Q3. Okay, this is all about the demand curve. What is the slope of demand curve? What is the slope of demand curve? Okay, the slope is written as change in dependent variable upon change in independent variable. This is the way to write the slope. Or you definitely have heard about y2 minus y1 upon x2 minus x1. Okay, in the case of graph, any graph, when we calculate the slope. So here y is nothing but the representation of dependent variable. Here we have dependent variable on x-axis. No need to worry, we have to write in same manner, and x represents the independent variable. Here we have price as an independent variable. So the slope can be written as change in quantity demand upon change in price. This is the slope of demand curve, QD upon change in delta QD upon delta P. Okay, this is all about demand curve. The next topic is exceptions to the law. What are the exceptions to the law of demand? Now let's see what are the exceptions. There are few exceptions to the law of demand. Exceptions means when this relationship is not followed. In which cases this relationship is not followed? In case of emergency, in case of war, definitely our generation have experienced the corona period, and that period can be termed as emergency kind of period or a war kind of period. And at that very time, what happened? People are demanding more and more, particularly the grains, food grains and the staple foods. People are demanding more and more, not because price is falling, but they want to hoard it. They want to make their future arrangements, and because of that they are demanding more and more. So there is no change in price, but still people are changing their demand. So these are the exceptions to the law. Okay, what are the other cases? Veblen effect. Snob effect, and the other is bandwagon effect. Now what is Veblen effect? There are few kind of consumers or people who want to have precious metals, want to hold precious metal like gold, platinum, say diamond, these kind of precious gems. So buyers of these kind of precious item does not demand because of change in price. They want to differentiate themselves from the society. They want to showcase their richness, and because of that they demand these products. Okay, out of their interest, their choice, not because of the change in price. So in case of Veblen effect, because to showcase themselves in society, to have the experience of say diamond and precious jewels, metals, because of this they do their demand, and this is known as what? Veblen effect. The next is snob effect. When people try to do something very different from everyone, this does not mean that they are seeking for precious items, but say they want to differentiate themselves every time. Doesn't matter, say everyone having a mobile phone of Samsung or Realme or other companies, and some people having Apple phone. So that holder of Apple phone may be categorized as Veblen product or Veblen effect. But snob effect is a person who want to differentiate from everyone. Doesn't matter the price of that product is very high or very low, doesn't matter. They will come with some new products like say a product like say a military kind of mobile phone, which is a very say, what I can say, that a very hardy and very durable kind of product. There is some model of mobile phone which is very durable, and that. So that is snob effect, where they want to differentiate, doesn't matter if they are looking for high-end product. Veblen effect is particularly related to high-end product. Okay. Now next is bandwagon effect. Bandwagon effect means people follow others. There are few category of people who who don't have their own opinion related to many products. We all people seek for advice. Okay, so there are many products whereupon we look for the advice, and if someone is saying that this product is good, you need to purchase this, you must go through this product, then definitely we are going to purchase that product. So the demand is not generating because of change in price. Demand is generating because we want to follow others. Okay, so because of that following kind of activity, if you are demanding anything, that is known as bandwagon effect. So under this category, if anything falls under this category, then definitely these are the exceptions which does not follow the law of demand. Okay, and the last is individual versus market demand. It is very simple. Individual A, individual B, individual C. If we add the demand of every individual, we will come up with the market demand. We will come with the market demand. Okay, so this is, say, individual demand A, say individual demand B. If you sum total, and you will get the market demand empty. When we have on x-axis we have quantity demand, on y-axis we have price. Okay, so this is all about our all topic that we have planned to discuss today. Okay, what is demand, what is demand function along with the determinants, law of demand, demand curve, exceptions to the law, and individual demand versus market demand. Hope you have understand today's lecture. We will meet soon with the other topic. That's all from my side. Have a nice day. Thank you so much.